Welcome to Humphreys of Henley TV, countryside concierge at its finest, and a wonderfully warm welcome to Stratford-upon-Avon, which is just lovely. Another one of these beautiful English market towns that is most definitely worth a visit. Now, obviously, the thing that we all know about that absolutely puts Stratford on the map, apart from its beautiful river and so on, is William Shakespeare. And as you can see behind me, the RSC in all of its glory is just absolutely the place to be. Now, a lot of our clients ask us when we're planning an itinerary and they want to come to Stratford, whether it's really worth visiting the RSC to see the production that's on at the time. And our answer is, even if you're not a real theatre goer, it is so worth it. You have all of the atmosphere and the incredible, the quality of the productions are absolutely superb. So if you never go to the theatre, or if you only go to the theatre once in your life, definitely go to the RSC because it's an experience and a half. At every turn in Stratford, there are these beautiful Tudor buildings. Some of them are still houses, a lot of them sit above shops and so on. So it's definitely worth looking skywards quite a lot of the time to make sure you don't miss any of these wonderful buildings. Now, being in Shakespeare's hometown, we really must talk about all of the places that there are to see that are linked to this incredible playwright, known actually as the world's greatest playwright, also known as the Bard. And there are 5 main properties that are protected by Shakespeare's Birthplace Trust, and my word, they do look after them. So there is Anne Hathaway's cottage, which is probably the most famous of all, and was the birthplace and the home until she got married of Anne Hathaway, who was Shakespeare's wife. And it's an amazing example of a real thatched English cottage. As you can see, the gardens and the grounds next to this beautiful old thatched building are just magical and definitely well worth visiting. It's about 1.5 miles outside Stratford, but definitely worth going to see. And it's definitely got its own sense of history, because Anne Hathaway's family lived there for 13 generations, 13, which is quite extraordinary. And it then became a museum at the end of that. So it's been really well preserved. Then there is Shakespeare's Birthplace, which is here on Henley Street. Shakespeare's new place, which is where he lived, and it was sadly destroyed by fire in the 18th century. But there's a beautiful garden and a lovely area to see. There is Mary Arden's farm, which was where Shakespeare was born, and that's the name of his dear mum. And then finally, but by no means least, is Hall's Croft, which is probably one of my favourites actually, because it's the least visited and least discovered, and it's where Susanna, one of Shakespeare's daughters, lived with her husband. So they've done an amazing job, the Birthplace Trust, of protecting these fabulous buildings. But it is not all about Shakespeare, and Stratford is a place you could easily spend a weekend and do a bit of Shakespeare, obviously. But there's also the stunning River Avon and the canal network that surrounds Stratford. So if you want to go out on a narrowboat or a fabulous river cruise, or this is, dare I say it, the British Midlands answer to Venice, because you can even hire a gondola, which is just beautiful. So the river and canals are really just magical. And then there is Magic Alley. So if you want to go and buy a couple of spells and a wand and learn a little bit of wizardry, then have a little wander down Magic Alley. And then there's the Tudor Museum, which is just amazing, and all sorts of wonderful pieces of history and so on to be found. but we would also recommend the ghost tour, which funnily enough happens after dark, and I'm not going to give away any secrets except to say that you are guided by a lantern and taken down all sorts of wonderful secretive places. So certainly worth going on, because it's amazing, and you also learn quite a lot too. There are also just lots of lovely events throughout the year that happen in Stratford that make it well worth visiting. There's a weekly market that happens twice a week. I think it's Thursdays and at the weekends. But they also have a rather wonderful Christmas market. They have some rather fabulous foodie markets throughout the year. So whenever you ask for a visit to Stratford, we will make sure that we tell you what's happening at any given moment. And like my beloved Henley-on-Thames, they also have a rather wonderful literary festival, which I think it normally happens around October time. And again, they have a lot of the leading authors. So Stratford is wonderfully about Shakespeare, but also about so much more, and it's a beautiful little market town that's well worth visiting. In terms of location, it's probably about an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours from London, but there are some beautiful places to stay because we're right here at the sort of northern tip of the Cotswolds in Warwickshire. So within the town itself, there's the lovely Townhouse Hotel and the Arden Hotel, or if you want to go down a little bit into the Cotswolds, Broadway with the Lygon Arms and so on, and all of the beautiful hotels in Broadway. So there are some lovely places to stay very close by. It's a bit too far probably to do from London in a day, but why would you want to when you can come and stay out here? So I hope you've enjoyed our little tour of Stratford. Please do let us know if you want any more information. Please like and share our video as always, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any more episodes of Humphreys TV. And next week we look forward to sharing the highlights of Brighton with you. So thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye bye.